At the 16, Deebo Samuel lines up in the backfield for the first time and gets chopped down. The ball comes out for the first time. On third down, this is the one that he sends in. Shove it off to Montgomery. Slips a tackle and gets a first down. David Montgomery. Lance in trouble and sacks. Samuel again looks to use his speed. Deebo Samuel's 49ers. Play action on first down. Fields booting. Has room to run, and he will. And Justin Fields for the first down. 49ers show pressure, then bail, and they run it and have room. Khalil Herbert has the first time. And on second down, Fields has a man right in his face as he turns the corner, turns it upfield, and gets a first down.
Sportsmanlike conduct. Chicago number 16.
Wow.
Brought a towel out on the field in the dead ball period to wipe the field down. By rule, that's illegal. 15-yard penalty, fourth down.
So third down and long. A twist up front, able to collapse the pocket. Fields keeps it alive. Has a wide open Pettis. And now Pettis down the sideline. And in. Improvisation and play action. Fields giving time. End zone. Touchdown. St. Brown. On 3rd and 5, Lance gets intercepted by Eddie Jackson. Eddie Jackson on 2nd and goal. Herbert tries it one more time, and this time he's in.
What's up, Brooke? We are starting the show. Hello, everyone. This is a pregame show. The Bears versus the Packers. What the hell are the Bears going to do versus the Packers? Well, we saw what the Bears did against the 49ers last week, and a lot of us did not expect that. I did. I expected that shit. I expected the Bears to win that game, especially in that monsoon. How do you feel about that, bro?
That game?
Yeah, that
awesome.
49ers game. Did you expect
and,
again?
To be honest, I'm a Bears fan. I always expect them to win. I take the losses a little harder.
I love that answer.
I
love that. Well, yeah, so a lot of us did not expect them to win, but they did pull out that win in the monsoon. Justin Fields looked, he wasn't great, but, he looked like he was learning. He has a learning curve. I think Trey Lance's learning curve is, I don't think it's as steep as Justin's is, because Justin had that Denny's menu coach who kind of set him back a bit. So I think that hurt his development. So it's almost like he's a rookie all over again. I mean, the regime is new. Everything is new. So it's almost like he's a rookie all over again. But he did not look bad for a rookie. We saw that Luke Getsy let him use his legs in the second half. He let him use his legs. Maybe he didn't want to reveal too much in that first half. I don't know. What do you think about that, bro? Because he kept handing off the ball to David Montgomery when the 49ers were stacking like 8, 9 in the box. Why would you keep running when that's happening? You know what I'm saying? So what are your thoughts on that?
And that's something we kind of, I think, talked about a little bit in our little back thing there, is why keep running the ball on a third down when we need how many yards? That was kind of a big thing. Why were we running it when we needed so many yards? And obviously, we've seen in the second half, we have more weapons than Mooney out there. Obviously, Pettis came up. What is it? St. Brown.
Yep. EQ.
Pringle also. It's like we have weapons other than Mooney, and which was a shock for me. this is kind of a rookie team being thrown together, a team that has basically been broke down over the off season and built back up. And some of these guys have never played with each other until this, past season. So
right. And a lot of these guys were not starters on their previous team. So EQ, he wasn't starting in Green Bay. He was like, what, the fifth option? So he wasn't starting. Then you got Pringle. Pringle wasn't starting over there in Cincinnati, was he? I mean, Kansas City. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about the Bengals game. But he wasn't starting over there. So Ryan Poles has put together a lot of forgotten pieces from other teams and now has put them in the spotlight, and they actually showed up. Catch a fucking pass. That's what we need to do. Catch a fucking pass. And that pass to EQ in the end zone, that was right on the fucking money. Right on the money. The pass to Pringle. Right on the money. So, I mean.
And he was when he did that.
And the pass to Pettis. I mean, how could that not be on the money? Pettis had so much damn real estate around him. How could that not be on the money? But the fact that Justin had the ability to see all the way on the other side of the field in the damn monsoon, that was phenomenal. That was great. But let me bring in our guy who can speak more on it than me.
Yo.
What's going on, man?
What's going on?
That 49ers game.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I want to apologize for the delay. I was trying to tell you I had to take care of some,
we don't want to know what you got to take care of, man.
I was on the throne, man. I was trying to handle business so I wouldn't have to run out, man. I was trying to get ready. Yo, what's up? Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Most of them have given the intros already. Obviously, Coach Chef in the building. Chicago Clubhouse Network presents Chicago Pregame Show. What up, Brooke? What's the word?
Not much. What's up with you? You ready for Sunday night football?
I'm A-OK now. I'm A-OK now. We all good. Oh, man. Oh, Lord. Oh, the struggle was real. The past 15 minutes, I was trying to tell y'all didn't want to listen. I was like, I got to finish. I got to finish. I know we were doing the pre-game, the pre-show meeting and everything. But hey, everybody been there where you got to do something, but you can't be sitting in the chair, can't be moving around like, oh, what's wrong? Like, oh, my stomach. My stomach bubbling. Okay, so we already 8 minutes into it, really 13 because he started to count down at 25, so that's cool. So obviously, we're having some issues with through Facebook. Okay, well, we don't keep it rolling until we get a word for anything. So obviously, you already did your intro this evening, Brooke.
I'm pretty sure I'm good to go for right now.
You good? We all good? I'm good. I'm good. It's been a very long week. It was I was a part of history this week on Thursday. The team I coach for, we're coached by a woman, and for the first time in the history of high school football in the United States, there was a football game at the varsity level coached by two women, or people also said two African American women, but still two women in general that coached a varsity football game at the high school level. So we were a part of history. We were on the news. For those who don't know, they can check out in CBS2 on YouTube or whatever. What did one or two Franks say?
Yeah, just don't worry about the one Frank. He's just.
Oh, it's cool.
Already.
It's all right.
Well, that is that kind of history in women in the sport, coaching and stuff. That's amazing. So.
Yes, the game did not go very well for us. We lost, and we lost pretty significantly bad, 50-0. So that was quite demoralizing. Um, but it taught me a lot. Taught me a lot. This whole season has been learning experience. But I digress. We're not here to talk about me. But for those who are football fans or Chicago CPS fans of the game, you could always look it up. It is a significant history that was made in the city of Chicago Thursday night at Gately Stadium. So let's just go ahead and jump into it. We're here to talk about Bears Packers. Obviously, we're going to break down some other things before we get to the actual Bears Packers breakdown. But we're going to recap the whole week since you saw us last Sunday, and we got the Bears dub. Last week's predictions were 24-27 and 24-15. The final score was 19-10. It doesn't matter because we still got the dub. I actually lost my parlay because I took the plus 6.5, which I would have won. I won. I took the money line, which I won, but I didn't get the over under of 39.5, like Frank said, because of the weather. So it is what it is. But with that being said, what we're going to do first is we're going to show you all the highlights of the game, and then we're going to talk about it and break that game down, get into some NFC action with our NFC team rivals, Minnesota, Detroit, and Packers, and then we're going to get into the game and do our breakdown and do our regular rundown. So TNic, whenever you're ready.
At the 16, Deebo Samuel lines up in the backfield for the first time. And gets chopped down. The ball comes out for the first time. On third down, this is the one that he sends in. Shove it off to Montgomery. Trips a tackle and gets a first down. David Montgomery. Lance in trouble. And sacks. Samuel again looks to use his speed. Deebo Samuel's 49ers. Play action on first down. Fields booting. Has room to run, and he will. And Justin Fields with a first down. 49ers show pressure, then bail, and they run it and have room. Khalil Herbert has the first time. And on second down, Fields has a man right in his face as he turns the corner, turns it upfield, and gets a first down.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Chicago number 16.
Wow.
Brought a towel out on the field in the dead ball period to wipe the field down. By rule, that's illegal. 15-yard penalty. Fourth down.
So third down and long. A twist up front, able to collapse the pocket. Fields keeps it alive as a wide open Pettis. And now Pettis down the sideline and in. Improvisation and play action. Fields giving time. End zone. Touchdown. St. Brown. On 3rd and 5. Lance gets intercepted by Eddie Jackson. Eddie Jackson on 2nd and goal. Herbert tries it one more time, and this time he's in.
So yeah, that was the highlights and maybe a little bit of lowlights of Bears 49ers. We got the win. We had a big second half. We scored 3 touchdowns. I know it was 19-10. There were 2 extra points missed by Cairo Santos, which was very, very unlike him. But our defense held it down, and we came out with the win. So we're going into week 2 versus our nemesis, the Green Bay Packers. And we're going to get into right now, we're just going to break down last week when the Packers played Minnesota, just kind of review how the Packers looked. And they looked like complete and utter bleh the entire game. I think this is the first time in I don't know how long, I wish I did better research on that one, that Aaron Rodgers did not throw a touchdown and threw an interception and lost and did not score more than 7 points. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think that's an occurrence that happens very often.
Year.
Say again?
I think the Saints game last year, they only scored 3 points.
There you go. Bingo. See? Already wrong. So that was a big thing. And, you know, I'm a part of a lot of groups, like I believe you are, Brooke. So we was giving Packer fans all they could take. Uh, I'm in a huge sports group. Excuse me, and yeah, we was giving in the business the whole week. So all they can hold over our heads is our record in recent history versus the Packers, which obviously isn't great. But hey, new year, new season, new teams. So I got supreme confidence in my Bears this year. I'm going to hold on to the fact that I think the Bears are going to split with everyone in the NFC North. Um, but they look bad. The Packers look bad. Just a quick breakdown of that game. Final score was 23-7. Uh, Justin Jefferson went off. He combined for more receiving yards than the entire Packers receiving core. I think he had 186. I'm going to double that by looking at the actual stats. He had 184. I was off by 2. It was close. 184, excuse me, on 9 catches, 2 touchdowns, longer 46. The entire Packers receiving core, I think, combined for like 121 yards. So, hey, you didn't want to pay arguably the best or one of the 3 best receivers in the NFL, and Devontae Adams. He out there getting money in Las Vegas right now with his homeboy. I was listening to an interview that he had, and he said it wasn't the fact that there was any dislike between him and Aaron. It was just for the fact that, or even the misconduct. Aaron does his whole thing with traveling and being a globetrotter and trying psychedelic drugs and all this other stuff. But, if your number one receiver doesn't know if you're going to be a part of the team next year, then obviously he's going to have an issue with that. So that was part of one of many reasons why Devontae didn't return. But they didn't look good. The offensive line didn't look very well. Aaron only threw for 195 yards on 34 attempts. Jordan Love even got some action in that game. He was sacked 4 times. His quarterback rating was 67.6. He also fumbled. So he had 2 turnovers. 2 turnovers in the game. They did run the ball reasonably well. The Packers did. Dylan and Aaron Jones combined for almost 100 yards on only 15 carries. So the run game is going to be something we'll have to be worried about, obviously, this week. The Packers, Kirk Cousins looked like Kirk Cousins. He looked like a guy who throws for 4,000 yards, except for when it really matters in primetime games on Sunday night, Monday night, and Thursday night. So he looked like he looked better. The whole offense looked better. Dalvin Cook put up 90 yards. The receiving core went off. I'm sorry, just Justin Jefferson. I mean, the rest of the receivers didn't really show out. The defense didn't even show up. The huge controversy the Packers game was that their best corner, Jair Alexander, didn't stick Justin Jefferson, and that's complete. That's got to be on the coaching staff. You don't put your best corner on one of the top 10, 15 wide receivers, and one of the 3 top young wide receivers who've been in the league the past 2 years. That's total. That's coaching. So that's who we play this week. A team that is searching for their first win, who has a defense that is supposed to be all everything, but did not show up last week. Did you catch any of the highlights of the Vikings Packers?
The highlights I kind of seen were, like, of course, Justin Jefferson, JJ went off. And I have him on fantasy. I kind of was liking that, not going to lie.
Right, of course.
But from what I've seen, and I was watching the game kind of on and off that night, but it was Green Bay. I've never seen Green Bay. I don't know how to say it. Play that piss poor. I
have, and I loved it. I loved every. I loved it. I loved every minute of it.
His offense is I don't know how to say it. It's like Rodgers is so disgusted with his wide receivers and who he has. There's no spark in him. From what I saw when I watched that game, every time they put a camera on him, he had his little Karen face on. I'm gonna pout and I'm gonna throw a fit and
Karen face. Okay.
I don't know what I call But it is a Karen face where he is just mad at everybody, coaches, staffing, because it's just not going his way.
Well, I mean, hey, Tom Brady today looked like a perpetual child today. Was breaking tablets and was yelling and screaming, and people always. I'm sorry, I'm going to interject this real fast on the thing, but how we view quarterbacks in this world. He breaks tablets. He yells at his teammates. He's considered a fiery leader. On the contrast, and I'm sorry, but this is a true statement, if Justin Fields or any of these younger, darker skinned quarterbacks had done that, they would have been called prima donnas, or they would have been called undisciplined, or they can't keep their emotions in check. And don't give me he's run 7 titles. Before they were winning that game, his reaction was horrible. No different than the reaction that Aaron Rodgers had when, bro, you think you're gonna motivate these guys through the media? Maybe you will, maybe you won't. They do have talent though. We did skip over the Bears highlights that we dished, so I want to apologize for that. To jump into the Packers Minnesota because they looked so atrocious. I was so excited to talk about how bad they actually looked. I'm sorry. But to go back, since we're still kind of on time on how we're going to break everything down, the Bears didn't look good in the first half. Obviously, the weather was a huge effectiveness of that, but nothing about the Bears looked good except for the defense. Defense not allowing a lot of points. Obviously, because of the rain, of the weather, neither team looked outstanding, but the Bears. Oh, I'm sorry. They almost looked offensively like the Bears of last year. Couldn't run the ball, couldn't pass the ball. It didn't look good. But something that we wanted from our new coaching staff that we didn't get from the Nagy coaching staff was we wanted to see adjustments. Half-to-half adjustments, and that is the biggest key to the Bears' win in the second half was the adjustments the coaching staff went. Yes, I saw you make some comments about why are we running the ball. I'm like, hey, in this weather, you gotta establish a run. The team is still built on protecting Justin, and the best way to protect Justin is to run the ball, no matter who's doing it, whether it's Khalil Herbert or it's David Montgomery, who didn't play very well. But hey, those guys combined for almost 30 carries between the both of them, almost 30. Montgomery had 17, Hubbard had 9, and then Justin had another 11 carries. So they were somewhat effective. And the receiving core didn't really show up. I had Cole Kmet on my fantasy team. He didn't really show up. But you being from where you were, how did you see those? How did you view the first half versus second half?
The first half, I thought I was going to be crying to my beers, to be honest. I thought I was literally going to just have to start putting them down come third quarter and just wallow in my tears. That's how bad the first half looked on there. Even though, Johnson did the Peanut Tillman punch, got that fumble for us, we got the recovery. I thought things would maybe switch there, and it didn't. Second half, telling you, man, I was all smiles. It was just like things just completely turned around, whether the coaching did the adjustments the right way. But I think also that team, with them starting to make plays, it started getting them hyped up that we're in this. Because all of a sudden it's like we came from 0 to leading in just a matter of a quarter and a half.
Most definitely. I was trying to figure out the stats of the first half, but I'm not finding them how fast as I wanted to. But I believe the Bears didn't have a combined 100 yards of offense in the first half. I mean, for the total game, they ended up with 99, 204. Ooh, Lord, 204. That's not good at all. Yeah, the Bears ended up with 204 yards of total yards of offense, while the 49ers ended up with with the tablet out the way, 331. 49ers even had time of possession, 33-26. They did have 12 penalties, though. That didn't help. That helped the Bears. The Bears, I believe they didn't have an offensive penalty the second half. That was big news on social media. They didn't have any offensive penalties, false starts, holding, any of that stuff in the second half. Not even on defense. I think the Bears only had 3 penalties the entire game for 24 yards. And one of those was on the field goal that the kicker, the young kicker, used to put the towel on the grass, which, it's always fun to learn a new rule. As a geek of the game and a rules guy, I didn't know that was a rule, but now I do. So that was great to learn. Say that again.
I said unsportsmanlike conduct for wiping down the field.
By a kicker. That's amazing. The thing that troubled me were the Bears were outrushed. The Bears and the 49ers both had 37 rushes in total. The 49ers had 176 yards of rushing yards. The Bears only had 99. So we're going to have to rectify that. No, Aaron Rodgers is not a big personal runner, but those two backs, Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, are. So they finished strong. We got the broken play to Pettis in the third. I literally was on my way to my friend's house who lived about 10 minutes from here to watch the rest of the game, and I was trying to wait. So I should have left at halftime. I didn't because I wasn't ready to pack my stuff up and go. And then I get in the car to turn on the radio. Everybody knows news in Chicago, news radio WBBM has all the games. Joniak, not John. His name's not John. Good Lord, I messed that man's name. Joniak and Thayer were on the call, and all I heard was, Pettis scored. That was a broken play. And I ran back in the house to see the replay of it. Jeff, thank you. Jeff Joniak. I don't know why it's John. Jeff Joniak with the play call on radio news. I've been hearing him for 2 decades, it feels like, on the Bears call. But I heard it. I was back in my car out of the park where I park, and I literally stopped the car. I didn't even repark. I just put it in park, and I ran back in the house, and I rewinded my DVR to see it. Then on the commercial break, I ran to get something to eat to a good friend of mine's house to continue to watch the second half, which was enjoyable to see them with the lead. I even missed the interception. I think I missed that too. I missed that waiting on some food.
Oh, it's Eddie Jackson.
Eddie Jackson back. I think it was like 20 between 25 and 35 games without an interception, and he was trying to house it. So yeah, we had that. We really had Trey Lance flustered. He was not familiar with the weather for real, and it showed. And unfortunately, just because we are doing this show now and not earlier, Trey Lance was taken off in a cart with a air cast during the 49ers this current game. Excuse me. So it's not looking good for him right now. And porn star Jimmy G's back in the game for the 49ers as they're winning their current game. But yeah, all in all, the big thing that I tell my players and what the Bears did is they finished. They started the game. We played a full 4 quarters of football. And when it came down to it, we made the plays we were supposed to run. Make Equinemius St. Brown with a good play touchdown on a crossing route. Great call by Getsy. Great call, great play action, crossing deep crossers. It was outstanding. He was essentially wide open. I mean, shoot, if you're 2 steps in the NFL, that's considered wide open. So you can't get any better than that. Besides the 2 Cairo Santos missed extra points, I thought the kicking game went well. I thought the rookie punter played well for field position and everything. So yeah, that's the recap of the Bears' win, first game of the year versus 49ers, who beat those Packers last year in the playoffs. So let's see, it's just about to be 6. So we're slightly behind, but we're good. So Minnesota beat the Packers. So last week the Bears were 1-0, the Packers were 0-1, Minnesota was 1-0, and then Detroit was 1-0. Excuse me, 0-1. Detroit lost a very close game, a high-scoring game to the Philadelphia Eagles. We're going to break down a little NFC just because, we're going to see these teams twice a year. And what they do is kind of important because we got to know what to expect for our division rivals. So last week they played Philly, and the final score, I think, was 38-35. They came back, and they put up points, and they also put up points today. in their win. And I'm sorry, they've actually scored the most points of any team right now in the NFC North. Did you catch any highlights from last week or today's game from the Lions?
No, I didn't. I know last week they put up some big points. It was a very, very close game. I did see the score for this where they pulled it off with, was it 31? Was that what their score was today?
I believe so. It was a really high scoring game. I'm trying to check the score now. But offensively, it looked good. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I have on my fantasy team. Pick that guy. Been knowing about that guy for a long time. Look, I told some friends, man, if you give Jared Goff some time, some receivers, a running game, and a coaching staff, which is a lot, that's what you need. But I'm just saying that guy needs help. He's one of those guys that needs help. He needs way more help than a guy like Mitch Trubisky does. Way less help than Mitch Trubisky needs, because Trubisky needs everything. He needs everything to be perfect to be successful. Jared Goff, not so much. But when he has those tools, he can ball. So last week they lost 35-38 to the Eagles, like I said, and they were down in that game. Oh, now nothing wants to work. Tablet doesn't want to work. Nothing wants to work. They came back versus another playoff team. I'm telling you, the head coach, Campbell, has those guys playing hard. They play for him. Should they beat the Washington Commanders today in another high-scoring game? And if you could put up 30 points in back-to-back weeks, so far you've proven that you can score. And if you can score, it's really scary for a team like the Bears who struggles with putting points on the board, even though we put up 21, which would have been somewhat like my prediction if I would have had the prediction 24-21, which was my other prediction that I wanted to, but I didn't go with. But I just want to say the Lions are showing to be a very formidable team. They played hard last year. They lost a very close game to Ravens, to the Steelers, to a lot of playoff teams, and they're playing that way this year. I'm telling you, we're going to split with every team. The Lions are going to prove a lot of people wrong this year. That is my fear. I don't fear the Packers as much as I fear the Lions. I just don't. I'm sorry. They have a lot of weapons. Their defense maybe not that good, but shit, their offense can put up points. So that was a big thing. What did you check out? Hold up, I got to know. You're in. What games did you get for the 1 p.m. game today?
Actually, I wasn't at that time. I was out doing stuff. So I was being bad. The one game that matters the most to me is the game that's going to be on prime time tonight. So, of course, I was running around doing errands during the afternoon, getting stuff done. So I didn't watch any of those games. But because I have Fire Stick, I can actually pull any game. So I don't have to worry about what our local network has right now.
Okay. The final score of the Lions game versus Washington was 36-27. They allowed Washington to come back because Washington scored all 27 points in the second half, but they finished that game and they beat them by 9. Like I said, Amon-Ra St. Brown had a huge game. He gave me so many points in fantasy. Jared Goff had a pretty big game. Come on, where is the? I just want the stat line for today, and they're not giving it to me. I hate technology sometimes. Oh, I'm going to find it. I'm going to find it soon. But they're a threat. If you don't think that the Lions are a threat this year, you are unfortunately, sadly mistaken. That was Wentz. Jared Goff today threw for 256, 4 touchdowns. Amon-Ra St. Brown had 2 touchdowns today, 116 yards. That kid can run routes. He's an amazing route runner, has amazing hands. He does it in the slot and does it on the outside. Swift, the running back, combined for about 80 yards all purpose. He had 56. He was averaging 11 yards a carry. A running back averaging 11 yards a carry. He had a touchdown for today receiving. Their other running back, their bigger back, Williams, had 53 yards, averaging 4.4. Their defense had an interception today. Their defense had 2 sacks. Hey, I forgot when we play them, but they are a formidable team this year. I think the NFC North is going to be really tough this year. And even if the team like the Bears or the Lions ends up with less than 8 wins, I think all these games are going to be really competitive. What we said first week. Good. I heard something. Okay, I'm sorry. So that's what I got. I'm trying to find some better stats for that game. But yeah, Samuel Washington. Yeah, total offense today for the Lions was 425. They had 191 rushing yards. I think Amon-Ra St. Brown had like a 53-yard run himself. Man, his team is, and they only committed 1 penalty today. The Lions had 1 penalty. Look, when teams play hard, when teams have great coaching and they trust and they believe in the coaching staff, when the coaching staff believes in the players to make plays and they don't commit mistakes, no turnovers either from the Lions. Jared Goff didn't throw a pick. They didn't lose any fumbles, and they had 1 penalty. That is fucking scary as hell to me, because disciplined teams that play hard can win games. They're going to win games, and those type of teams win close games. So yeah, that's what I got for the breakdown of those NFC teams. Minnesota's playing right now. Who are they playing right now? I don't know. Who they play?
Don't they play tomorrow?
Monday night? Yeah, primetime game.
No, they'll play and somebody else 2 games tomorrow night. No. Good question. Who are the Vikings this week?
I'm waiting on my phone now. Nope, no, they play Monday night. They play the Eagles.
Okay, so they are Monday night.
Yeah, okay. They play the Eagles. I think that's going to be a pretty good game. I think it's going to be a good game. Actually, I would pick the Eagles. If I was a betting man, I would pick the Eagles. But this NFC is going to be tough this year, I believe. Excuse me. Caught in the yawn, man. Long week. So what we're going to do now is we're going to try to kind of break down a little bit. Actually, now we're ahead on time because I expected to talk about 10 minutes of Detroit football. I'm glad I didn't. Also, some of our producers are glad I didn't spend 10 minutes on Detroit. Who we got in the chat right now? Make a shout out to Frank. Make a shout out to Chicago Clubhouse Network for helping me out. We got a user, Facebook user here. I don't know who you are, but if you go to YouTube, we can see who you are, and when you comment, we can give you credit for your comment. So thank you for your views on Facebook. Like and subscribe. Oh, I forgot that the first show. Hey, people out there in the TV verse, like and subscribe to the network, to the show. We need your likes. We had some views last week. We want to get some views this week. I know it's a little later in the day. People are kind of expecting us in the morning. Like and subscribe. Chicago Clubhouse Network. Like and subscribe. The Bears pregame show. Brooke and me are both on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. In fact, no, I'm not on Twitter. I'm not on Twitter. Do not go to my Twitter. Anyway, no, you can go to my Twitter. Not going to give it out. You got to find it. But maybe I'll do it I'll do it later this season, so I can kind of vet who my Twitter friends are. But yeah. So we're going to move on next. We're going to move on next to tonight's game. We're going to kind of try to break down the positions and break down what we think those positions, how they're going to portray versus each other. So first up, good old quarterback, Justin Fields, Aaron Rodgers. As much as I dislike Aaron Rodgers, I got to give the check to the Packers. Aaron Rodgers is all everything quarterback. How much do you dislike Aaron Rodgers, young lady?
Well, if you've seen my Facebook, you could tell I really, really dislike Aaron Rodgers because I have got some of the best memes out there about him after last week. It's just he's a good quarterback, but he's really a Karen. There's quarterbacks out there that are great, like Dan Marino, Joe Montana, some of the greats back then. And here you got Aaron Rodgers, who's like Brett Favre, and then all of a sudden he's like, something doesn't go his way, he throws a fit like a child. We have kids that watch the sport. These guys are supposed to be heroes, they're supposed to be role models. When you see a guy like him doing what he's doing, to be honest, I have no respect for him. He may be a good quarterback with his throwing arm, but the attitude, yeah, no. Surprised he's lasted this long in the sport, but he's a good QB. But that's just how I feel about him. So.
I'm muted. I'm sorry. I was muted. I was talking. You couldn't hear me.
No.
I
rant about Aaron all day. You know it. So I was like, better stop.
All right. The only thing I'm going to disagree with you about Aaron Rodgers is the pouting part. Look, we are human beings. People are allowed to have emotions. I do say that how you control your emotions tells a lot about you. I don't think his emotions got the best of him like Tom Brady today, or like I've seen other quarterbacks do, like the thing with Tom Brady breaking a tablet. That's something else. I do want to slightly bite back about their heroes and role models. Yes, they are looked at because they have celebrity and are on TV, but it's our jobs for our children. So be who you are. I look. You know what's really weird about celebrities and time we live in, or actually just in general, is that we say that we want our heroes, celebrities, athletes. We say we want them to give more personality. We want to know about them. We want to know their background. Tell us your story. Make us endear to you. Tell us the truth. Don't be like Russell Wilson and talk like a quarterback talks and give no answers and say, let's ride. Like we want more from you as sport fans. But the reality is when we get that, then we kind of bite back. We're like, hey, they were honest. They said it was about the money. Why is it about the money? Because, goddamn it, it's always been about the money. Brooke, you don't work overtime for the hell of it. I don't work overtime for the hell of it. It's about the cash. These bills got to get paid. These are pro athletes. You have a finite window. Go get your bag. Go get your bag. I ain't mad at you. You left a contender to get more money because your body going to be broke before you 35. Go get the bag. That's just my 2 cents. Now by Aaron Rodgers. He's amazing, and I hate him, but I love him because he's amazing. I'm enamored with talent. But I dislike him because he's a goddamn Packer. Packers have weaseled their way into having 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks in my lifetime.
In a row, back to back.
I can't. I don't know. Okay, enough about the quarterback. Although Justin Fields is showing great promise, he had a great second half. He didn't throw for a lot of yards, didn't throw a lot of attempts, but when he needed to make the plays were made by him. So he has a long way to go to get to that status of being like a guy like Aaron Rodgers. Next, running game. I will give the slight edge to the Packers. Slight edge. They have 2 running backs who are phenomenal in the run and pass game and who performed last week. I would say the Bears are very close behind them. They have a literal slash and pound, big back in AJ Dillon. You got your all-purpose back in Aaron Jones. In all honesty, I think our backs are kind of similar. They're more similar. There's not a lot of difference. Like Montgomery isn't a power back. He's a shifty, one-cut type of guy. Khalil Hubbard is kind of the same. I think they're kind of the same guy. Montgomery is better in pass and as a pass catcher, so there's that. But I think they're more similar than they are different. And then we got Ebner. But he's probably not going to get a lot of time because he does a lot of special teams. What did I say? Did I say his name right? Khalil Hubbard? Did I say it wrong?
With the E, Herbert.
Herbert with an T. Herbert. What did I say? Hubbard. Oh, Hubbard, like the high school. My bad. Look, it's 5:00 somewhere. Excuse me, my sinuses are kicking my behind again. I've been pounding medicine and tea all day, and I sound like I don't know. I hope I don't sound bad. So I will give the slight edge to the Packers just because of their versatility with their backs. And I think they still have Kuhn, the guy fullback, and he has a great versatility. Our fullback is almost like a traditional fullback. We haven't really seen him, obviously, because we haven't had one. But, I would give the slight edge to the Packers with the run game. Receivers. I never thought I would say this. I give the Bears clear check mark on the receiving corps for the Bears. I don't care. All the shit the national media talked about the Bears receivers, they should have been talking that same shit about the Packers receivers because who they got? Can you name a guy they got? Scanling? No, Scanling's on he's the Chiefs. The big guy they had, it was out. Oh man, I gotta look that up.
What they got, Cobb?
Old. He's not old for like us. When he's not, I think Cobb's in his mid-30s. He's between like 33 and 36. But in football, you know what that is? Old. And he's not the guy he used to be. That's clear and evident. They've got the kid Watson out of North Dakota State. He dropped a big pass in the game that was for a touchdown. Now we talked big crap about him this past week because of the drop, but the kid was wide open. So yes, he did drop it, but he was open, which means that if he was open then that means he can get open again. So he's a threat. What else? I take our receiving core as a whole. I think we're more well-rounded. I think we've got more. What's it called? We have more experience. We have Byron Pringle. We have Mooney, obviously, who didn't have a huge game, but we have more proven talent. We have more proven talent than they do. So I definitely would give it to the Bears. Tight ends. I'm going to call that a wash. What about you? Oh, before we do that, I'll start the skipping. What do you think about the Packers versus Bears running backs and receivers?
I got to give it to us. After seeing what happened in the second half, we have more weapons than we thought we probably did, to be honest, after watching that second half. You know, it's always been Mooney, but now these younger guys coming in the new teams, we got more weapons, and Fields is comfortable with going to other people than Mooney. So I got to give it to us on those.
So is that both the running backs and receivers for you?
I choose our running backs over theirs, but we all know I am a huge Herbert fan. I've been a huge Herbert fan since he come on last year as a rookie. So I'm going with our running backs, you know. But then again, they do pretty good over there in Green Bay.
You know what? I know the hate is real, but sometimes you look, when people are good at something, it's okay to admit, look, this is a Bears show. I'm a Bears fan, but hey, talent is talent, and when you've got it, you can't deny talent. That's what I tell all the Packer fans when they're going back and forth with me on all my groups. It's like, bro, everyone's in the league got talent. Your team ain't the best team. That's why y'all only got one damn Super Bowl from one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time because everybody get paid to do this. You know, so
well, I gave them the quarterback, you know, even though I wasn't.
I know you didn't want to, right?
He's got talent. I said he's a good quarterback. What, 3 MVPs? Possibly, if he can pull it around, possibly 4 this year.
Oh, no, okay. I'm not going that far. Not going that far.
just supporting MVPs over there in Green Bay, you know.
Yeah.
So yes,
They are. Brett Favre has like 3. Ugh.
43 MVPs over there,
Damn.
that guy. So yeah, you have to give the quarterback him. That's a given.
Even when it comes to tight ends, I get the slight. I think that's like I said. I think it's a wash. I think the tight end Tunyon's the guy who 2 years ago had double digit touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers found that guy like 11 times. I think the guy made a Pro Bowl or maybe an All Pro. I don't think he was an All Pro, but he was pretty close. But he has not done that again. So Aaron Rodgers made him a star essentially for a year.
I don't think Tunyon even Robert did that good last year either for them.
No, I think he was pretty average. I think he was pretty average last year. Did he have any receiving yards of the game? Let's see, targets.
He's kind of one of the bigger tight for us. And
well, you know what? I could be wrong. No, they have 2 other tight ends that. No, Robert Tunyon is still out there. They got a guy named Tyler Davis, a guy who I don't know who that guy is. He's essentially an unproven second/third tight end for them. Tunyons did have 5 catches last week, so he's still their TE number 1. Our TE number 1 didn't have any catches. I'm not going to blame him. I'm going to blame the situations in the game where he only got 1 target. Mooney only got like 1 or 2 targets, and then they got another tight end, Jawan Winfrey. No, I'm sorry. Other guy's name I can't pronounce, but his first name is Josiah. Yeah, we're just going to go with that. Yep. And he's another, I believe he's a journeyman. No, he's with the Packers. He had 200 yards. But yeah, so I think it's a wash. Our tight ends, I think they're pretty evenly based. So it's like, being put in, who's going to make the plays? When it comes to O-line, I'm going to give it, then we'll give it to the Bears. The Packers, have a lot of injuries. Bakhtiari is still having issues with his ACL and knee issues. They sacked Aaron Rodgers was sacked 4 times last week. We did have some issues early with protection for Fields in the 49er game, but I think they came through and they played outstanding because they're getting more and more comfortable with each other. We have also we people don't know this, so people didn't notice. Lucas Patrick was playing a lot of guard Sunday. I don't know if you noticed it, but I did. He was playing guard quite a bit in place of Tevin Jenkins. I don't know how that's going to go this week exactly. I'm not exactly sure if he'll be starting or they're going to, let him kind of rotate at guard. But I didn't really like it. I think they were trying to just get him up to game speed, which I can kind of respect. But I think that we really need to solidify Tevin Jenkins, solidifying that right guard position, unless he's just proven that he can't get it done. Excuse me. Other than that, I would give it to the Bears. I would give the Bears a slight edge in O-line, just because we're healthier and got some youth, and our quarterback I don't think got hit that much. How about yourself? I know O-line. I know. You know what? I'm sorry. I know O-line's not glory. I'm the nerd here. O-line's not glory. Just know that Aaron Rodgers is going to have. He doesn't have the line he's had in past years. We all know Bakhtiari is an all-pro type guy, but that O-line is not that good.
That's about their O-line and stuff. Where I know the individual stuff, but so for me, to be honest, because watching their O-line last week, watching ours, I'm going to call it a wash. Because Fields couldn't get throws off. He did get taken down a few times. And, I mean, there weren't holes for Montgomery or Herbert to get through at points. if you're going to call a running play, we got to have those to where they make those holes, and that wasn't getting done. So for me, I'm just going to call it a wash because Green Bay played like crap last week. Chicago kind of played like crap. And to make that O-line good on both, you need to be able to do it. But Green Bay got those runs off where Chicago didn't. So their offensive line got them the holes in the blocks that they needed to get through where ours didn't. So, kind of
yes, Brooke. Hey, you know what? I'm going to lean kind of towards you. They did put up a significant amount of yards rushing last game, which is a problem that our defense gave up almost 180 yards rushing. So, yes, I gave the Bears a slight edge, but you were right. And when it came to the running game, the Packers ran the ball successfully last week, and we did not. So we got to see. So I kind of gave the Bears slight edge. You gave you call it a wash, kind of like the tight end group. D-line, I'm going to give it to the Packers. I think their D-line, although they're missing a guy who is now a Minnesota Viking, he had a sack. They used to call them the Davis brothers, I believe. Two guys that had the last name Davis, I believe. I could be wrong, but they their defense is pretty good, and it starts with their front four. So I would give them a slight edge over our front four. Although our front four showed up, you had the rookie Dominique Robinson have a sack and a half. He was huge in like 20-something snaps, 26, 25, 27 snaps or whatever he had. I think we got adequate pressure, but we still had issues with the athletic running back Trey Lance getting out and running. So I'll give it to the Packers. When it comes to linebackers, I'm not going to lie. I don't even know who the linebackers for the Packers are. Who are the linebackers? And just because I don't know, and I'm a football guy, which is crazy to me that I can't think of anyone significant on their linebacker. Let's see. No, I'm sorry. Well, you know what? Rashawn Gary is technically a linebacker. They run a 3-4. So they got Preston Smith. No, so they got some quality guys. Devondre Campbell, who had 11 tackles and a tackle with a loss. Rashawn Gary. You know what? I take that back. I would give it to the Vikings. I'm sorry, Lord. I don't know why I keep saying Vikings. I'm going to give it to the Packers. Yeah, besides Roquan, I can't talk today. Besides Roquan Smith, Besides Roquan Smith, I think that the Bears linebackers have to prove themselves a little more. I know we have some guys who've come in who are contributing, but we got to play together. We didn't play together all preseason in games. So we just got to do better. We got to do better in a new system, being that we're in a 4-3. Roquan now being a weak side linebacker instead of a middle linebacker. I think that it was an adjustment in the first half from him. He seemed to be mostly where the ball was, but might have been off just a beat just because he didn't play in the preseason. But I would give the linebackers the edge. DBs, I would give Packers. I'm sorry, they do have a top 5 DB cornerback. They do have Adrian Amos, who is a guy who's a do-your-job guy. But, hey, if you're a do-your-job guy and you do your job, you're pretty damn good. Former Bear, obviously. He had a huge interception a couple years ago to end the game. I would give the edge to them with that. Eric Stokes, Darnell Savage. In all honesty, the Packers defense from top to bottom is just better than the Bears, in my opinion. From D-line, their front three, their front four linebackers, because they run a 3-4, because their linebackers are rush backers, and their secondary cornerbacks and safeties. I would just give the entire defense to the Packers. I'm sorry, but that's just save me. What do you have? What do you have about the defense? Who do you?
And this is me looking at it, going based off of last week and how things got done over there. Packers defense obviously failed. Obviously. I mean, JJ scoring the way that they did, the runs. Packers defense completely failed. Now you got, like you said, Dominique Robinson. Brisker is a rookie. He's had some good plays last week as well. He's a rookie coming in. Quinn, Roquan, Jalen Johnson. come on, Eddie Jackson. They all put it together last week, and they got it done in a crappy field. That was waterlogged, everything, and they performed. They stopped the 49ers from going forward, scoring more. So I'm going to have to give our defense just off last week the edge. With the 2 turnovers that were done with by JJ and Jackson, and obviously, I mean, the sacks. So I'm going to give it to us. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Based off last week, I can see how you would give the edge to them. I am going off their preseason accolades and their last season accolades. And yes, it's a different year, but that team has been together quite a bit. We do have a lot more turnover on our defense, only returning so many guys. So, 1 second. Sorry. 5:30. My house everyone's everywhere right now. The kid, the baby, my 5-year-old, my lovely lady. They're all moving around. So just making sure the sound quality is good. But back to the defense. So I agree with you based off last week. They didn't play as good. They had a lot of broken down coverages. The Packers did. But I think that the coaching staff is going to adjust. We did allow 174 yards rushing to the 49ers. So that is very problematic. So that's why I gave it to the Packers as defense, all 3 positions, D-line, linebacker, and DB. And I know you're not going to talk about it. Most people don't talk about special teams, but I still give the special teams edge to the Packers. They still have a kicker who's been in the game for a decade plus at this point. And we have a rookie punter, and Cairo Santos missed 2 extra points. Shoot, we just saw a kicker lose his job last week. The kicker out of Indianapolis, Blankenship, the second-year guy with the goggles under the helmet. They just cut him. So people were talking about, oh, you know what? All the kickers. Hold on. Actually, did you see the memes that they were using for all the kickers in the NFL? It seemed that last Sunday they were missing wide left, like the Cincinnati and the Pittsburgh game, where there were 3 missed extra field goals. I think an extra point. Cairo Santos missed 2 extra points. Like, kickers did not have a good week 1 in the NFL last week.
Who has our punter? Is it Green Bay or the Vikings who got our punter? And
I think it was our. I think they got our punter. Let's see.
He's good. I'm sorry, but his punting skills, he could get that down there where it needed to be. And
yep, they got Pat O'Donnell. They still have Pat O'Donnell, who's 31. They have Mason Crosby, who's older than me. I remember Mason Crosby when he played for the Colorado Buffaloes in college. He still made his field. No, they didn't have a field goal, but he made his extra point. And Pat O'Donnell averaged about 45 yards a punt last week, and with a long of 53. So they have veterans. We have youth. We have guys who missed field goals, extra points, which were huge if the game had been any closer. Also would have helped me get closer to my over-under on my bet, which I lost. But, hey, it's betting, so bet at your own risk. So that's kind of our synopsis of the breakdown positions. We're also going to kind of the verse positions. So what I mean is, for instance, we're going to say who has the advantage. Our running backs versus their linebackers. Our O-line versus their D-line. Their D-line versus our O-line. It's going to be quick because we're okay on time. We do have a segment that we want to introduce this week because of Brooke. I asked her to come up with some great stats from this great and oldest rivalry in the game in the NFL. So we're going to bring that up. That's going to be kind of our next segment or our next thing we do. But I think that the biggest advantage this week, position to position, as far as versus, will be to see how it goes back to the O-line, D-line. How is our D-line going to attack their offensive line, and how is our offensive line going to hold up versus their rushers? They have really good rushers. Like I said, Gary, he's outstanding. Excuse me, still hits the quarterback, still can rush the passer. So that's the big thing. And how their DBs, who I think are better, how they're going to match up versus our lack of overall offensive talent as far as receivers. Who's going to guard Mooney? Who's going to guard Pettis? Who's going to guard Pringle? Are they going to go man? Are they going to play zone? All those things. But I think those are the key matchups. Both offensive line versus their defensive line, and vice versa for the Bears and Packers. And then their DB group versus our core receivers. I'm not going to lie, I'm not that worried about their receiving group, but it is Aaron Rodgers. So if he throws for 350, I'm going to lose my shit. I just am. Let's see. Everything's slow motion today, man. I forgot they got Sammy Watkins. 3 catches for 18 yards. Man, that man looks like an old man at 29. See, that's what football does to your bodies, kids. Football makes you old. Sammy Watkins was a hot shot less than 10 years ago. Clemson guy, speed, power, part of the new age receiver. He's 29 and he looks like he's about 49. He had 3 catches for 18 yards for a guy who was known for his speed and going to get the ball. Obviously, we know that Randall Cobb is old as hell at age 32. They do have the young receivers in Romeo Dobbs, I believe, and Christian Watson. But I think our secondary can handle them. I think they're coached very well. Excuse me. So I'm not so worried. I also definitely am intrigued by the fact of their injury report. So we know that Bakhtiari is going to be out. Excuse me. They've got 2 of the old linemen, I believe. John Runyon still in the league? Holy hell. Oh, that's John Runyon Jr. I'm sorry. I saw Runyon. I was like, the guy who played for the Eagles in the 90s and 2000s is back in the NFL. His son plays football. He didn't practice because of a concussion. And they've got 4 guys on their O-line who are on the injury report. Obviously, Bakhtiari, John Runyon, I don't believe is playing. And then Jake Hansen and Elginton or Jones. Jenkins, excuse me. He is limited because of a knee. So yeah, our D-line's got to get rushed. I think our D-line has to show formidable against their offensive line. Let's see, 6:38. Still making some good time. I don't think we're gonna. As part of just breaking down, I don't think Velus Jones Jr. is going to play this week. I think he's still battling with the hamstring. I ain't gonna lie, I was waiting for a Velvet Jones reference to pop up. That's why I was talking so slow, because every time I say Velus Jones Jr. Okay, cool. Just making sure we got a different producer tonight. We got a different producer. If our producer from week 1 was on, we saw Eddie Murphy. Hi, I'm Velvet Jones. So yeah, for the Bears, I think the only concern is still Velus. I don't think anyone else, excuse me, was on the injury report this week. I just want to double check just in case anything new popped up since we're playing a primetime game. I'm Velvet Jones. See, I was given time for the Velvet Jones to pop up. I was given time.
I was in the bathroom, man. I was in the bathroom.
TNic, our producer this week. Got to give credit to that man. So let's see. Velus is also doubtful for today. That's the only significant person on the injury report, because everyone else is on the IR who was already on the IR. So Dakota Dozier, N'Keal Harry, Michael Joseph, Doug Kramer, David Moore, Tajay Sharp, and some other guys. Tavon Smith. I forgot Tavon Smith was on IR. That was another DB that we had. But yeah, so it looks like only person who may not play tonight is Velus Jones Jr. That would be unfortunate. We really want to see that kid get out there, but obviously with that soft tissue injury, the hamstring, we want to make sure that a guy who bases his game off of speed, especially, I mean, hamstrings are bad for anyone, but when your game is speed, you need your legs. Oh, oh yeah, Trey Lance might be done. That kid might be done for the year. Porn star Jimmy back in action. I'm sorry. That's a quick segue. Do you know why I or some people have referenced Jimmy Garoppolo as a porn star Jimmy G?
No.
Some years ago, I think when he first got to San Francisco after the trade, he was seen out on a date with a young lady who was a part of the adult industry. Now, I'm an adult. Date who you want to date. But obviously, that gave some people the liberty to make jokes at his expense. But I would say he's the one laughing at us, because if he went on a date with an adult star, then it turned out better than how some of our lives have turned out. So me and my friends, or my friends who are super football heads, would say, I call him porn star Jimmy G. That's what I call him. He's a good looking dude, man. That guy, if he was a better quarterback, he would get better endorsements. I think he's slightly above average, but yeah, porn star Jimmy G back in action. So, Brooke, let's do it. Let's do it now. I would like you to give our fans, our followers, some interesting Bears Packers information, stats, facts, etc., etc. Saw you, Brooke.
Okay. Kind of looking through this in some stuff I didn't even know. Probably one of the big things I didn't know was Gale Sayers and, of course, Walter Payton, Sweetness, share the Bear record for most rushing yards in a game against Green Bay at 205 yards. Gale Sayers ran for 205 yards on November 3rd of 1968. 11 years to the day before I was born. Figure that one out. Sweetness, he gained 205 yards on October 30th in 1977. And both games were played at Lambeau, and they share that record. Something also I guess I didn't know is 4 of the Super Bowl 1985 Bears went on to play at least 1 year in Green Bay. 2 of them were quarterbacks, Jim McCone and Mike Tomczak. They each played, I think, over in Green Bay for 1 year. Defensive tackle Steve, is it McMichael? And
yeah, Mongo. Yeah.
Yep.
Steve Mongo McMichael.
Yep. And so those are the 4 Super Bowl players from the 1985 Bears that at least went over to Green Bay for 1 year. And I didn't know that. So we all know this, and this is probably a stat everybody knows. The Packers have won 20 of the last 23 games against us. And they hold the series with 104 wins to our 95 wins. And I believe that one I didn't write down was the ties. It's either 5 or 6 ties. I believe that's the one thing I didn't write down. But they do hold the series right now over us. However, the Bears have the most games won out of any of the NFL teams out there. We have 784 on regular season wins. And the Bears have also played the most games in NFL history. As of right now, we have the most games played. However, Green Bay is coming up on us. Green Bay has 782 wins. So they're only 2 wins in the regular season behind us. So that's a big question out there. Is Green Bay going to take the lead for the most wins in the NFL, or will Chicago hold it? Hopefully, I'm hoping my little prediction on last week of best case scenario, Chicago wins 14 games this year. I'm still hoping for that, Hopes got really high last week after that one, but we all know that's probably not going to happen. But the other interesting fact is Packers have 804 wins in the highest win-loss record with .57 in NFL history, including both regular and postseason games, the playoffs. So the Packers do have that. We have to give them credit on that, where credit is due.
Those damn Packers.
Right? I mean, that's pretty good. Somebody was sitting there telling me that the NFC North is the worst division in the league. And, of course, this obviously came from a 49er fan over there in the, what is it, East? West? But, yeah. They were
NFC West of the 49ers, yeah.
They were feeling a little butthurt, and little do they know, they were sitting there saying that their division has more titles than ours. Actually, they don't. I believe it's AFC first, then it's NFC, and then you have another one, and then it's the North is the fourth out of all the divisions with the most titles. So I did find out that, because, gotta love those trash talk groups. When the Bears clinched the NFC North championship in 2005 and in 2018, we had identical wins over the Packers those 2 years, in 2005 and 2008, to clinch the NFC North championship, division title. With 24-17, we beat the Packers in 2005 and 17 to basically win the North. So those are just some little fun facts there. A few of them I didn't know, so I don't know. Maybe some of you didn't know.
Thank you, Brooke. Awesome. I do know my tablet cut off, but the Bears and Packers obviously are the longest rivalry in football history. I had the number of what meeting this is. I remember a huge stat being, when Packers took over the all-time series winning versus us. I do know that the last time that the Bears beat the Packers was Matt Nagy's first year as head coach. I do know the last 4 head coaches have all beat the Packers in their first season as head coach. Nagy has a win. The guy from Canada has a win, who was talking in the back of in the player meetings. He beat the Packers. And John Fox beat the Packers? I've got to look into that, but I'm trying to log on to another phone because I don't have my tablet now. But yeah, I do know those stats about the series. I do know that, unfortunately, Aaron Rodgers is 2 wins from tying the most wins versus the Bears, tied with a very fraudulent, who needs to go to jail, ex-quarterback from Mississippi, and Brett, I take painkillers, Favre. Yes, he's 2 wins away. Brett Favre holds the record right now, I think, with most wins by an individual quarterback in the Bears Vikings rivalry, with 23 wins. Yeah, it sucks. But yeah, those are a few stats that I remember from my researching of it. I had a lot of stats, but I can't find any of them now because I'm seated and I was not as organized as I wanted to be. I'm sorry, everyone. Okay, hold on. Give me 1 second. I had to confiscate my girlfriend's phone. Crap, I'm not going to find it. Anyway, yeah. Oh, interesting stat that you gave about 85 Bears guys who played with the Packers. Jim McMahon was one of them. He got a Super Bowl with the Packers as a backup to Brett Favre when they played New England in '94, I believe that was the year. So I do remember that. We even had ex-Bears currently on the team, and vice versa. So they have Adrian Amos, We have Amon-Ra St. Brown. They have Pat O'Donnell. Julius Peppers, when he left the Bears, his final stop before he retired, where he continued to play at a high level, was with the Packers. So, yes. So that's what we got right now for those stats. Thank you, Brooke. Obviously, since my tablet cut off, I want to give a quick betting line info for those who engage in that activity, which I'm a new bettor of sorts. Oh no, something in my bar. Oh, that's just bitters. My bitters fell down. I knocked my bitters down. I hope you got your drink there, Bobby. You know we got to toast up before the game, before we close the show out, young lady.
Yes, yes.
Betting lines, Bears, Sportsbook, DraftKings. I just want to know the basic line. Last time I heard, it was 10.5 Packers. They were minus 10.5, so that means that they're at home, so they're going to get typically 7 points. So based on their history, also Aaron Rodgers being Aaron Rodgers, that means that the betting world has the Packers beating the Bears by 10 points. I think the over-under is 40 something. Come on. Excuse me. Favored by 10.5. Okay, the over-under for Vegas is 42. And I don't know what the money line is because I'm not on my tablet. But yeah, so it's 10.5. If I was a betting man, which I occasionally am, I would take the 10.5. I think it's going to be a very close game, which means that if you take the Bears plus 10.5, that means that as long as the Bears' final score is within 10, really 9.5, no, this is a wash. So you win by, if it's 9.5 or less, then you win. I don't know if I would take the money line, but I'll get into our predictions for the final score later. And I think I would take the over. The over is 42. So last week it was 39.5, and it was bad weather. It's going to be pretty good weather in Green Bay tonight. So I would take the over at 42. That's just both teams scoring 3 touchdowns. I think that's very capable of happening. Yeah, that's what I got. So that's what I got on betting for those out there who want to throw some parlays out there, want to get some money on these betting apps, FanDuel and or DraftKings. I'm saying them like they're our sponsors. I wish they were, but they're not. Oh, here it goes. Here's the line. So as of the last, after checking, the Bears money line is negative 480. I'm sorry, the Packers is 480 and the Bears is plus 360 for those who don't bet. Anytime you see a plus, that means the team is an underdog. That's what I have. I'm getting better. Hopefully by the end of the year, I can tell you how much you can win when you put so much money on those particular bets, just to add something to our show. Oh, no, I don't want to bet. I don't want to bet. Not on this app. Wrong app. What would you take, bro? What do you think about that? What do you think about the plus, the sporting line being 10 points? I mean, based on recent history, maybe, but I think it's going to be a lot different this year. So if you were a betting person, do you think the Bears would lose by 10 tonight?
No, I don't. And I believe like last week, they also had San Francisco by, what was you say, 9?
I think it was 3. It was 3.
Was it 3? I thought more than 3 that they had us.
No, you're right. It was 6.5. I'm sorry. It was 6.5. They had the Bears minus 6.5, which means they had them losing by almost a touchdown at home. And typically when you're at home, when it's even, they give you 3 points automatically. So they had the 49ers being significantly better than the Bears, and they showed otherwise because they won by 9.
And,
so,
I'm going to say it's wrong again this week. But that's just me. But I don't bet. Well, I'll say that. I do the profile bets, and luckily I haven't ran into any Packer fans. I kind of stayed away from all this week, so I don't have to put a profile picture because the last couple of ones, I did not look good in Green Bay here at all. So, but I just think it's a little much because you said 10.
Yeah. I think they're going on previous history. I think they're automatically going to give. If the Bears were better, which I think they are, I think they would probably have the game at close to last week. But based on recent history with the Bears, Packers, and Aaron Rodgers playing amazing, and the Packers are being at home, I can see why they gave them 10 points. Oh, so we had two things to cover before we get out of here. We have roughly 5 minutes. We're going to go slightly past because we're kind of slightly behind by about a minute on how I outlined this episode. We're going to jump right into our personal predictions. So, Brooke, do you have the Bears winning today? And then give me your score.
Of course, I have the Bears winning. You know, I do pick against my own team. I do. So
hey, you can't win them all. There's only 2 undefeated teams in the history of NFL since the merger. So.
But yes, I am going for Chicago tonight. And I'm going just based kind of off of last week's game against the 49ers, how Green Bay play. But Green Bay's come back, you know, after their big loss last year to the Saints for weekend, they come back and hold it back. So this could come back to bite me. However, Chicago and Green Bay are usually high-scoring games. You're muted.
The last game they played was extremely high. It was 45-30.
No. And so kind of based on that.
And both quarterbacks are starting this game like they did last. Justin Fields started the last game they played versus each other. So, yeah. We had some big special teams plays that game from a guy who is not playing it right now because of injury. But, yeah, they scored they combined for 75. It was 45-30. So, yeah. So what you got? What you got on the score?
I'm going to go. I'm with 34-30.
Whoa. 34-30. That is high. That's really high. That means we're going to be
scoring between the two of them. I mean, last games were high scoring. They play hard. They don't know what it is about those two, but
I've been debating this all week. I think that we're going to see a very strong game from Aaron Rodgers, but I think that his lack of overall confidence and his talent is going to seep into this game. So I was going back and forth all week. I had the Packers winning a close game, and I had the Bears winning a close game, and I am going to take. Obviously, I'm taking the plus 10 for the Bears. If I was to bet tonight, I believe I'm going to take the money line also, which means that I have them winning straight up. That's what money line means. It means straight up win, loss, no point spread, just who you have winning the game outright. I'm going to take the Bears, and I'm going to take the Bears. I hate doing scores. I've never been good at scores. You know, you get all the people who do scores. I don't even know how you all guess those. But I'm going to say Bears 27, Packers 21. And I want to set that in stone. Bears 27, Packers 21. That's what I got on my predictions. We both have them winning. I still have the Bears finishing how I thought they would finish, but tonight I have them jumping on top of a team that seems to be kind of down with injuries and some questions on their offensive side as far as their receiver talent, although their running back talent is pretty tough. Brooke, before we get out of here and do our outro, I would like you to talk a little bit about the shirt raffle.
Okay. Chicago Clubhouse Network is to a lucky person Field home jersey. How to get into this is simply you subscribe to the YouTube page for Chicago Clubhouse Network that this is being aired on, along with several other great shows. Terrence and those guys have an awesome show on Tuesday night. They will be raffling off the shirt to one lucky person on the next Tuesday, September 20th, I believe, on the show. So tune into that. And how to get into it is if you can go to Chicago Clubhouse Network Facebook page, and there's a post on there you could share it. I think I have a couple on my Facebook pages. Frank, a few others from the Clubhouse Network also have the link. So you share the link to your Facebook and you subscribe to the YouTube. Once you do that, your name gets put into the raffle for that Justin Fields home jersey. So everybody like and subscribe and get in for a chance of a great Justin Fields jersey. And obviously, if he keeps playing like he did in the second half, he's going to be one hell of a quarterback for Chicago in the years to come.
Thank you, Brooke. So we're going to get ready to outro this. Once again, thank you for being a part of this second episode. I know for me it was a little rough. I've had a rough week from Thursday through the weekend with the work, and my sinuses are continuously kicking my ass. We at the Chicago Clubhouse Network would like to thank you for coming out and showing us your love, and get ready for this wonderful Sunday night game to close out the Sunday of the best time of the year, football season. I would like to thank Brooke, obviously, for being with me today. We're going to keep getting better as the year goes on, and we're going to keep bringing you as much content about our pregame show, Bears content, NFC content, just because we want to be well-rounded and knowing those damn Packers, those damn Vikings, and those goddamn Detroit Lions. So, yeah, we're going to give you all the information we can give you. We're going to try to be up on it. Sorry, small tidbit. Pittsburgh lost. All you Trubisky fans can suck it. It's not anyone's fault but his, because he's not talented enough. I said it. Mitch Trubisky is below average as an NFL quarterback. He has all the talent around him. It's no one's fault but his, because he's not good enough. Go Kenny Pickett. Anyway.
Tell me how you really
I've never liked the guy. It's not personal. It's business. They lost picks, taking him second, and people keep thinking that it's Nagy's fault. No, he wasn't talented enough. Goddamn right. Also tune into our shows on the Chicago Clubhouse Network, YouTube, Facebook, like and subscribe, and hit the notification so you get when we doing our shows, all our shows and our guests. We have a great show on Tuesday. I'm not sure who the guest is, but I do have, I think one of the guests coming up will be Jerry Zuma, one of my favorite Bears of all time. Oh, my God. TNic, can I be on the show? He's a former Walter Payton Award winner in 1AA back in New Hampshire. He's a running back who converted to cornerback. Jerry Zuma, oh, my God. I'm acting like a fanboy right now. I'm going to be real chill, though, in the interview if you let me be on the show. But thank you to our producer tonight, TNic, who is the coolest dude in the room. The ultimate point guard and quarterback. He was our producer today. Thank you, Frank, for last week. If we didn't thank you enough, thank you very much to everyone who tuned in tonight. Tune in next week for when the Bears, all my notes are gone, so I don't know who they play, but tune in next week for that. Go Bears, bear down. Brooke, you're awesome. We're getting better. We're about to take the world by storm. Chicago Clubhouse Network. Thank you to all our sponsors, Tilly's, Under Armour. Don't know how we got them, but great. And this other one that I can't see up in the left-hand corner because the live ticker is on, so I don't know who the other sponsor is. What sponsor is that? Powered by, I don't know what that is. TNic, help me out. Who is that? No one's going to tell me. Oh, no. Okay.
I can't.
You're muted, TNic.
It is Be the Miracle. Be the
Miracle. Thank you. Thank you, sir. There you go. Being very charitable. Thank you, TNic. And I was like, what does that say? All I see is the time above our heads. So we went a little past again. Brooke, who do you give your shout outs real fast since I took a little too much time?
Shout out to everybody who's in, Chicago Bears fans, Packer fans. Huge shout out to you guys for watching us, giving us support in this. Shout out to the Chicago Clubhouse Network for letting us do the pregame show. The producers, Nick, Frank, from last week. And I mean, I'm not really big with all the huge shout outs. You've kind of hit everybody. So I'm kind of done.
Okay, thanks, Brooke. It's been a pleasure working with you so far these past couple weeks. Look forward to more. And we're out. TNic, you look like Lovey Smith. Yes, you do. Grow the beard out. Lovey Smith, TNic. Look it up. Google it. Check the show out on Tuesday. Check the show out on Wednesday. She said what she said with our girl Sherry Green. Awesome goddamn show. They do more than just sports. They talk to women and men in the sports world. But the show is run by women, and it's amazing production. It's an amazing show. And check out Plunk, which is our baseball show. Baseball season is not over. They do cover Sox and Cubs from the fans' perspective. We have a Sox fan on the show and a Cubs fan on the show. And with that being said, we out.
This has been a Chicago Clubhouse Network production.
Whew, shit.